Have you ever gone to the store for lunch meat?
You are super loud. Like meat that you use for sandwiches, lunch meat, luncheon meat, deli meats, that type of thing. I remember when I was a kid, my mom would make sandwiches there was 4 of us, we're all pretty close in age, so she'd have to make lunches for all of us. And she would go to the store and buy this like rectangular ham loaf, and it was like sliced, and it was like, it didn't quite fit properly on the piece of bread, but I remember it really well because she would take it out of the deep freeze because she'd buy it in bulk, and there'd still be like slices of ice on it, and she'd slam it on the between like white bread and Miracle Whip, and then by the time you get to lunch, the ice has melted and made you this like soggy sandwich. It was deadly. I enjoyed it. I'm not complaining. Sorry, Mom. She doesn't do that now. That's the way it was. But I will tell you that not one time did I ever consider that ham loaf from the deep freeze to have ever been an animal at any point down the line. Like, I knew that it was meat, and I knew that meat came from animals, but like, I was very disconnected. These days, if I'm gonna have a ham sandwich, I know that it's coming from an animal that had a really good life, and I can respect that. I think that disconnect between, you know, getting lunch meat for sandwiches and getting ham from a pig that had a good life is, it's a big step for me. So I love food. I love eating, I love cooking, I love looking at pictures of food, I love watching videos of food, I love watching videos of people eating food or making food. I just love it. I like thinking about it. It is one of the biggest joys in my life is food. So I think that a big part of this journey of growing food and becoming more self-sustainable for me is like that connection I have with food. For the past year now, Dominic and I have been growing our own food. Not all of it, but we've grown some vegetables, chicken, pork, and goat. We even made maple syrup right over there on that rocket stove. We collect eggs from our laying hens, and the more parts of our meals that are sourced from here on our property, the more satisfied and happy I feel, for sure. This week we're prepping to grow more food, so I wanted to kind of bring you around the property and share some of the plans that we have going on. So the first place I want to start is here, the cattle panel greenhouse. This is the one that Dominic built last fall, and we had our chickens living in this winter, so we have since moved them back into their regular coop, and we've gone in here and kind of scraped up the floor and made a big compost pile so that all that manure can compost before we put the vegetables in it. We have a pretty late growing season. Our last frost date is May 22nd, but it's actually later. We don't really plant until June here. Welcome to the greenhouse. I really did miss having one of these last year because I did try to grow tomatoes. Our season is just not very long. We got some pretty intense frosts in June and in September, so we have a really short period here. So in here, we're gonna put tomatoes and peppers. That's it. So we're looking at growing Roma, Scotia, beefsteak, and maybe some cherry tomatoes in here, and a few jalapenos and bell peppers. Okay, our next point of interest is the garden. As you can see, it is just starting to open up. I've got some vegetables that I can put in there as soon as the ground is workable, and I think it's almost about workable. We're gonna be keeping it super simple. We're putting in carrots, onions, and potatoes as our main crops. We're gonna plant as many of those as we can and hopefully store some over the winter. I'm also gonna make a salad garden, a bit of lettuce, spinach, a bit of snow peas, things that we like, but very simple. I think that's the name of the game this year, is keep it simple and try to grow as much as we can. Last but not least, obviously, the livestock. Dominic worked really hard last year to turn some of this forest into silvopasture. He planted a lot of grass seed and cut down a lot of trees to try to make it a bit more manageable for livestock. That is the overall plan here, is to be able to have this 26 acres a much more useful piece of property. Right now it's really tightly overgrown with spruce. We did see that up in the back part of the property there are some some more hardwoods and a bit more open spaces that could even be usable soon. But that's for another day. But he did work really hard last year to make some silvopasture, so we're gonna hopefully utilize this year and turn some of this grass into delicious nutrient-dense meat. But we'll get into the livestock when we get there. Right now, we're working on putting the vegetables in. Last week, Dominic and I cut down this maple tree.
So we're just gonna quickly cut down a couple of little maple stems off a tree that's down here, edge of the property. We don't be down here very much, but we're gonna make some mushroom logs, so we're gonna use some maple logs for that.
So that we could inoculate these maple logs with shiitake mushrooms. I ordered shiitake mushrooms from Happy Caps in Halifax. We're going to be doing that today. I've never planted mushrooms before, but we'll see how it goes. This is fresh cut maple, so you need to use fresh cut hardwood. We cut it probably a little over a week ago, and we left it up on this pallet here to cure where it is, and it's ready to go. So you should find logs that are about 4 to 6 inches in diameter and about 3 to 4 feet lengths are best. That is 4 inches, so it is just big enough. I guess something a little bit bigger would have been better, but this is big enough, so that's good. These logs are, they're 6 feet long. Whatever, I'm just gonna go for it. This is my new experiment. So 3 to 4 inch logs, about 3 to 4 feet long, and you wanna put the holes about 6 inches apart. That is the first log done. I've got 2 more to go. So there's 9 in each line. There's 4 lines. It makes 36 holes. I've got 100 plugs. So I'm gonna do 3 logs and that'll be enough. So I'm gonna put the camera away. I'm gonna get the other 2 done and then I will meet you back with the next step. I have got the wax in here. So I boiled water here in the bottom and I put water in this bowl and then I have my little cup of wax floating there on top of it. You can't have it too hot, but you don't want it too cold. I need to take these plugs and put them into the holes. I gotta knock them into the hole with the hammer or a mallet really. I don't have a mallet. And then I have to paint it closed with this brush. So here we go. I got a whole log done before I had to reheat the wax, so I'm gonna move this log, get the other log set up, and then try to get another log done. And that is it for the mushroom logs. So that was my first time getting a Happy Caps mushroom kit. It was my first time planting mushrooms at all, and it was really easy. Hopefully it all works out, but I'm really happy with it. That was really easy, and I would definitely do it again. Super fun. And of course, we've always got our chickens who are laying eggs for us. The ladies put in a lot of work, and they do give us such delicious eggs. I love them, and I really appreciate them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for our plans for growing food this year. I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to see when everything is up and running in July and August. It's such a pleasant time of the year, so I'm super psyched, and I hope that you guys are planning to follow along, and I also hope that you have an excellent week. So take care, bye-bye.